Hey guys, Brendan Legan-Wood here, author of the 3+1 Plan and chairman of YPC Group, where we help you to build a thriving property portfolio so you can live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, but in such a way that you're not creating a second job or actually working yourself into an early grave. So what I wanted to do today was we've been running the webinars now for a while, and we've compiled hundreds of questions that you guys have been asking. So I want to take those, and what I've done is I've broken them down into a number of really key questions that most of you guys are repeatedly asking. And what I've done is I want to present them to you so you get that level of education. I've always been a massive supporter of free education. And so that's what I want to do for you guys today, is really give you, I guess, what most people out there are concerned about in the market now, about property investment, about strategies, about structures, about all sorts of things, the questions that you guys have been asking. So, it's not now me telling you what you should be thinking, it's you guys actually feeding back. And I love that about the social media, and I love that about webinars. So yeah, sit back, relax, and let's get started. So guys, today's question, it's one of those questions that, you could sit there and go, that's ridiculous. Why, it doesn't even compare apples for apples or apples with oranges or anything like that. But the important, and I guess the question is, look, I'll only invest in property if the current returns beat my cash. Now this client, he's obviously got money in cash, and he's saying, well, why would I change from getting my 4 to 5%, cash and bonds, versus getting a rental yield of 3%? Why would I even consider that? The fact is they're two totally different investments. And the one thing that I would say, and in fact not the one thing, there's hundreds of things that I could throw at this, because they are two totally different investments. Now look, if all the cash you had was £20,000 and that was 3 months worth of your wage or whatever, then don't invest in property. But assuming that you've got this disposable cash, so you've got the rainy day stuff put aside, then what you need to do is look at this, because the real thing is you can't compare these two, okay? Let's look at cash, all right? Cash, the issue with cash is this, and bonds are the same, is that inflation is going to decrease the value of that. So if you've got cash sitting in the bank right now, if you're making, well, he's saying 4 to 5%, let's choose 5%. Inflation's running about 5%, which means your money is doing nothing. Your return, and the other thing is, on the 5% that you're making, you're going to pay tax on that, and because you're paying tax, and let's say you pay 2% in tax, all right, of that money, then it means you're actually decreasing each year. So cash is a negative investment right now. And for the most part, money in cash doesn't work. It doesn't invest. It's not an investment, okay? It's a security blanket, fine, but not an investment. Now, the other thing with the whole cash in this is that yes, it is available, it's liquid, all that sort of stuff. So there's a benefit in that side. But really, if you're looking at investment and growing your thing, what you need to be looking at is your property side. Yes, your rental yield, and this is a net yield I'm talking about. The gross yield might be something like 7%, okay, or 8%, which might be running in the market now. But obviously, as interest rates go up and prices go up and these sort of things, then your yields are going to drop. Now, importantly, the one thing you've got to add to this sort of yield, because actually 3% yield isn't very much when you consider that you've probably got 5% inflation, so you're in the same position, all right? Now, capital growth, right now in the market, you may not get a lot of capital growth, but then there's other phases in the market where you're getting 9% a year, across the whole market. So in actual fact, realistically, this question comes down to, look, why would I invest in property if it can't beat cash? It beats cash all the time, every day, all right? Now, not if you got the rainy day, the security blanket, no, you should keep that. But, then two totally different investments. Property is a long-term capital appreciating asset that actually offsets inflation, okay? Because you've got a debt against that debt actually works the same as a cash. It decreases the value of the debt. The figure stays the same, the value decreases. So that's a massive hedge against inflation. And for that, this will beat all the time, every time, There's no real comparison between the two. And to expect, and to say, well, I'll only invest in this if I'm getting better returns than that, well, you are always going to get better returns. Maybe not the headline rates, but I've got to say this so many times. Don't look at the hype and BS that the gurus and salespeople are telling you. Don't look at what the headline says. Look into the detail. And if you look into the detail, you'll see that actually cash and bonds right now are doing absolutely nothing for you, okay? Property is doing fantastic things for you now. The yield may not be doing too much, But when you've got debt against that property, absolutely it is. It's inflation busting, okay? And that's what it's doing for you. And that's great news. Now, when the market flips and you've got huge capital growth, fantastic. Then not only have you got the inflation hedge, but you've also got the capital growth side. So you've got both sides to benefit you. So, really, you can't lose in property as long as you're able to hold it for a long time. And that, is the important bit. Can you cash flow it for the longest time? Guys, really, apples for apples, these guys aren't, this is apples, this is oranges. In fact, this is apples and this is Tonka trucks. They're two totally different, vehicles, okay? And really, the comparison of the lot, there is no comparison. So guys, I'm sure you found that information really valuable. The first step really now is that you need to get a plan. You need to actually, work out exactly how you're going to put this in place. So what I encourage you to do is come in and sit down with us, talk to us, grab a coffee with us. And what we can do is we can actually start mapping out what your plan is. Guys, I'm looking forward to meeting you real soon at either one of our webinars or perhaps a seminar, or if you come to one of our offices around the world. Have a great day, and remember, live with passion.